Are you watching your narcissistic ex manipulate Illinois family courts while feeling powerless? Most parents react emotionally exactly what the narcissist wants. One single outburst can damage your parental rights for a very long time. My name is Jeff Hughes and I'm the lead family law attorney at Sterling Lawyers. In this video, I will share with you the 5 strategies to defeat a narcissist in an Illinois child case. And I will show you how to methodically turn the tables on the narcissist using their venom and manipulative tactics against them while you maintain the high road and win. Strategy number 1, documentation is your strongest weapon. Think of documentation as building your case brick by brick. And I will explain exactly what to do to create a bulletproof system. Number 1, why you document, how to document, and what to document. So starting first with why. Why use documentation as a tool to defeat the narcissist? I had a client once, and he had a narcissist for a soon-to-be ex-wife. It was so bad, shortly before filing for the divorce action, that he had no idea about. It was a complete shocker to him. She went out and traded in her car for a new one using the marital funds. On top of that, he had an opportunity at work to go to third shift. Now, going to third shift at his job meant that he had to stay there for a long period of time. He could not bounce around and move between shifts. And she knew that if he went to third shift, it would be very difficult for him to have more time with the children. So she convinced him to do that. Right after he did that, she went out and she filed for a divorce action. She made up false allegations against my client. So initially, once we got into the case, the guardian ad litem got on board, and the guardian ad litem was justifiably confused hearing all of these ridiculous, outrageous things against my client. And sure enough, the case started to turn against him. The guardian ad litem was believing all of her lies. And so we knew that we were in for a very long battle. And so what my client started to do is he started to document every instance of her narcissistic behavior and every instance where she tried to do outrageous things. And over time, this documentation built up. And it built up. And soon it became so powerful that the guardian ad litem was persuaded against her. He began to see all of these patterns of narcissistic behavior. And sure enough, we get to the final court date and my client ends up prevailing because he had the documentation to prove his case. And let me tell you, patterns in family court, they're really hard to ignore and they are very persuasive. You also document because documentation helps refute false allegations, but you need to be meticulous about it. It needs to be organized because it's difficult to fight off a lie, but you can do that with good documentation that slowly builds the blocks to refute all of those lies. You also document because when it gets time for you to testify, years could have gone by, or at least months could have gone by. It can be really hard to remember details from months ago, but if you have the documentation in front of you when you testify, it can refresh your recollection for the court, for your testimony. And that is really helpful for the judge to understand and believe you. Good documentation can be a tool that's used to persuade the judge, the guardian ad litem, or the child representative in your case. So, how do you document well? First off, it is so much easier to do it on a computer, or worst case scenario, on your phone. Because if you have it electronically, it can be reorganized, it can be made to be easier to read and simple. I encourage you not to do this on a pad of paper. Now, maybe you start there, but it needs to be transferred to something electronically. It's so much easier to absorb and to consume when it's organized well in an electronic format. It needs to be simple and it needs to be concise. Just the facts. Less is more in your final product. Also with your documentation, don't put in your opinions. Try to avoid opinions at all costs. Just keep it to the facts. Also, and this is really, really important because your credibility, that means everything when you get to family court, is be truthful in your documentation. Your documentation should also be in chronological order, not jumping around from one point in time to another point in time. Keep it chronological. And always, always, always remember who you are documenting for. You are documenting for the judge, for the court, for the guardian ad litem, for the child representative, for your attorney. You are even documenting for you if you are later testifying from your documentation. The third part of documentation is what do you document? What do you write down? Number one, the date. Always put the date that incidents happened. Put the time. Put the location that it happened at. And then describe what happened. And if you can, put in there anything that would corroborate your description of the facts. Photos, videos, so you can look at things at a glance and say, okay, that's the time that happened at the park, or that happened at the exchange at McDonald's, or whatever the case is. Be able to look back and see quickly what happened. Again, I want to remind you, get into the habit of documenting and saving everything systematically. Texts, emails, social media posts. Save all of that. I know it's going to get laborsome. I know you're going to get tired of doing it, but it's these little things that build up that can win cases. Strategy number 2, master emotional control. And I know this is hard. Believe me, I understand how difficult this can be whenever your children are at stake and they're on the line and you're in a custody battle. But this is where so many cases are won or lost. It's going to be so easy to lose control of your emotions because you know the truth. You know what happened. And that other individual, the narcissist, is trying to twist things all around and make it seem like it's different than it is, wherever possible. And in every case that you possibly can, unless it's a genuine emergency. The rule is to wait before responding 48 hours. That's the 48-hour rule. And there's a strategy for how you do that effectively. Let me walk you through that. It's a 4-part response after 48 hours. 1, make it brief. Your response should be brief and minimal. Narcissists want to draw you into long, lengthy explanations that they can twist. Focus on the facts, keep them brief. Number 2, make it informative. Stick with third-party verifiable facts only. Narcissists really struggle with manipulating concrete evidence, so keep it concrete. Number 3, make it firm. End with a clear statement. Narcissists hate boundaries. Give them boundaries. Courts love boundaries. So give the court what the court wants. Don't give the narcissist what the narcissist wants. They hate boundaries. Give them boundaries. And finally, it should be professional. And I don't mean like professional like you're at the bank or something, but it should have a professional tone. Keep it very straightforward. You don't have to be friendly. In fact, I would encourage you not to be friendly. Be firm, be professional, just the facts, businesslike, move on. And keep it child-focused. Strategy number 3 for beating a narcissist in the Illinois court system is this. Build your professional team. That often starts in high conflict cases with getting an experienced, quality family law attorney to help you, to assist you, to guide you through the process. Also, if you're going through a battle, the Illinois judges will in all likelihood assign a guardian ad litem and or a child representative in your case. These people are professionals. They're appointed by the court to represent your children's best interests. Strategy number 4 when dealing with a narcissist in Illinois, deploy your legal options when appropriate. I'm going to walk you through each one of those legal options. Number 1, whenever a divorce action is filed, you have the right to go to court and ask for the court to give you temporary orders in your case. Now, these orders are not permanent. They are not long-term. They're only to get you through your case before your final decree is entered. Illinois courts use the law under 750 ILCS 50/501. I encourage you to read that to understand what goes on in these temporary order hearings. Now, what the judge can do is they can issue orders on parenting time. They can set specific exchange times and locations. They can mandate the use of communication platforms. If you're dealing with a narcissist, a communication app on your phone is a great tool to document. And the court will likely require both of you to communicate exclusively through that app where everything can be tracked and documented. And if that happens in your case, or if you ask for that, it will become your best friend and your war to document. The court can also require counseling, anger management therapy, or whatever the case may be. So all of that can happen in a temporary order. If you need to change an order while your case is going under Illinois law to modify some part of an order, you have to show that there's been a substantial change in circumstances from the last time that you were in court, and that the modification is in the child's best interest. Another legal option you have are emergency actions. Illinois courts allow emergency motions when there's an immediate danger to the child, there's a substantial interference with parenting time by the other party, or when there's evidence of parental alienation. Those factors allow the court to then have a hearing on an emergency action during a case. You can also, another legal option available to you is you can also get an order of protection, restraining order. To file for one of these orders of protection, it is necessary under the law for this is 750 ILCS 60. You need to document, again, you're going to hear that a lot, right? Document all court order violations. Keep a record of all harassments and all threats. The fifth and the final strategy is to dominate while you're in court. Your court appearance strategy, as you can imagine, is crucial. And here's how you handle yourself effectively in an Illinois family court. First is dress appropriately. What I mean by that is dress as you're going to a very important job interview. You don't have to wear a three-piece suit. That probably will make you feel uncomfortable, but you need to dress your best. Be there on time. And on time means at least 30 minutes early. Bring your organized documentation, again, in chronological order. Be prepared to give specifics if the court asks you, and bring copies of all relevant communications so you can give a copy to the court, a copy to the opposing party, and have a copy for yourself. And when it comes time to present, talk to the judge by addressing the judge as Your Honor. That's the appropriate, legally required thing to do when you're in court. Be professional. Do not interrupt the other party when they're talking. Do not interrupt the court, the judge, when they're talking, and speak to when you're addressed. You will have time to share your story. If they say stuff that you know is outrageous, you know is false, you will have an opportunity to respond to that. Take your notes as you're going through so you can be prepared to respond to each of those false allegations methodically. And finally, to really dominate in court, it is real important that you speak the language of the judge. And in family court, dealing with children, the language of the judge is found in 750 ILCS 5/602.7. These are the factors that relate to the best interest of your child. This is what the judge is required to follow when entering orders. The judge is required to do what's in the best interest, and that's defined in that statute that I just gave you. So maintain really good documentation. Maintain control of your emotions. Follow through on these strategies. Work with your legal team effectively, and you will prevail. And if you found this video helpful, I recommend watching our next video, Tools for Co-Parenting with a Toxic Ex. Thank you, and I will see you over there.